Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 5.
With more winter weather expected in the metro area, we could be seeing more accidents like this one on the roadways. This crash happened just a short time ago on I-94 over University Avenue. Traffic was slowed for quite some time while crews worked to clean it up. It is cold out there, you know that, but it's about to get frigid. And along with it, high winds and blowing snow, creating whiteout conditions. West Fargo and Fargo Public Schools have already announced that they will be 2 hours late tomorrow morning. This means that buses will also run 2 hours late. There will be no morning classes for Woodrow Wilson High School, Early Childhood Special Education Preschool, and the Adult Learning Center. Also, on the Minnesota side, Moorhead Public Schools has canceled all activities and community education classes after 6 o'clock tonight. The blowing snow will be an issue for a lot of us, especially in rural communities. Joining us live now is Valley News Team's Joshua Peguero, who is live in Grand Forks with the latest road conditions. Joshua, what's it like up there?
Well, Andrew, I can tell you that when we were driving north from Fargo to Grand Forks, we barely saw any cars on the road. There weren't any cars on the road. But if you look at the, according to the North Dakota Department of Transportation, we're monitoring the road conditions. And just north of Grand Forks, there are icy roads. We spoke with a few truck drivers here at this rest stop, and a few of them told us that coming from when they were driving from east to west, they didn't see anything, but from west to east, a lot of the roads were covered with snow. And if you look at that interactive map, it does show that towns like Jamestown, Carrington, just west of Valley City, they are covered in snow. They're also covered in ice, and they're urging drivers to just take it slow. Again, north of Grand Forks, most of the roads are covered in icy conditions, so please use caution whenever you're driving. And again, if just west of Valley City, like Jamestown and Carrington, the roads are covered in snow, and they're icy as well. And so the conditions are going to get worse throughout the night. We're going to be here at 5:30 and at 6, just offering you the latest. And Andrew, I'm going to send it right back to you in the studio.
All right. Thank you, Joshua, for that update. Those blustery conditions we mentioned at the top of the show will invade the region soon, and the dangerous temperatures will hit us overnight. Let's get the latest from Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson, who's standing by in the Weather Center. Hutch?
All right, here's a look at the headlines, Andrea, as we head into the overnight hours. We have blizzard warnings in effect until Thursday midday here in the Southern Valley. Really, the main problem, not new additional snow, but the fluffy snow we got earlier in the week will be blowing around, and wind gusts are expected to reach 60 miles per hour in spots, particularly in open country. And those 60-mile-per-hour winds will be gusting out of the northwest. As we take a look at our live Skycam, we see travel conditions not too bad here in the Southern Valley at this time. Here's your timeline. Between 4 and 7 o'clock tonight, so any time now, we'll start seeing that wind shift to northwesterly in our northern counties, and the wind will become abruptly stronger. Between 7 and 10, it arrives in the valley. It lasts overnight. Again, 60-mile-per-hour winds capable of toppling high-profile vehicles. So dangerous, if not impossible, travel conditions likely for many in the warned area. Tomorrow morning, wind chills to 45 below. Winds will still be gusting over 40 miles per hour, but we'll see those gradually decrease throughout the day. So travel both tonight, overnight, and in the morning hours tomorrow will be greatly impacted, and it may take some time. Here's a look at where the front is, passing through Grand Forks and Jamestown. A light band of snow behind it. That's not going to be the problem. It's going to be the blowing snow. It's moving in on Winnipeg. So once again, you'll see this arrive first in the Northern Valley. By late tonight, close to bedtime, we'll be feeling the effects of it with very strong wind gusts. We'll be back with hour-by-hour details here in just a few moments.
All right. Thank you, Hutch. The Fargo Police Department needs your help identifying this person. They say he's a person of interest in a burglary case. If you have any information on this man, you can call 241-1405 and leave your tip. 2 people are now in jail after police served a search warrant at their Grand Forks home and found drugs. Police arrested these 2 last night, Brian and Nakia Jones. Grand Forks police say they served the warrant at their home at 2116 First Avenue North and found over 3 pounds of meth, marijuana, 4 firearms, and nearly $9,000 in cash. The 2 are facing several charges, including possession of meth with intent to deliver and felon in possession of a firearm. A man from Crookston has been charged after police say he kicked the family dog to death after getting in a fight with his sister. Police were made aware of the situation back in November of 2017. Court documents state that 22-year-old Benjamin Ia got into a physical fight with his sister, then went to put on his shoes and realized that the family dog had peed in them. Ia allegedly told police he wanted to take his anger out on the dog, so he kicked the pet. The 12-year-old Chihuahua died that night from injuries. Ia has been charged with domestic assault and mistreatment of an animal. Fargo's Mayor Tim Mahoney is in Washington, D.C. this week for the U.S. Conference of Mayors. It is the 87th winter meeting, and Mahoney says his focus is on economics. Mahoney says his city is well situated to confront economic challenges in the next few years. One challenge that could become dire is the partial federal government shutdown. Mahoney says Fargo relies on certain federal grants. He also says the Office of Budget Management is playing a big role in the diversion project.
Our elected representatives are there to try to solve our problems of the nation, and we feel very strongly that our delegation should work forward to some type of compromise. Let's get the government back working.
The federal government is currently on day 33 of the partial shutdown. Federal workers were protesting today, demanding their paychecks and an end to the partial government shutdown. Hundreds of federal workers were demonstrating inside the Hart Senate office building on Capitol Hill. Due to the shutdown, some 800,000 federal employees are either working with no pay or furloughed, which means they're not working and not getting paid. For most, that means financial hardship, with many struggling to pay their monthly bills, and for some, life-saving medications. On day 33 of the shutdown, these workers say they want their lives back and their salaries. Could Minnesota be the next state to legalize recreational marijuana? That's the topic of discussion for state lawmakers, but the question could possibly be put on the ballot. John Croman explains the possible 2020 vote.
It's a heavy lift. I think that we'll have to have lots of conversations and lots of discussions. Ultimately, the Senate is still a GOP majority.
State Rep. Ray Dean, Minneapolis, sees the legalization issue through the lens of the criminal justice system, of how people of color in particular have been affected by the prohibition on pot.
You know, I mean, I've always said that the difference between teenagers that sell marijuana in the inner city versus teenagers that sell marijuana in the suburbs is, in the suburbs, they're doing in their basement of their home. And that's protected on the Fourth Amendment versus on the streets.
It only takes a simple majority in the House, 68 votes, and a simple majority in the Senate, 34. And then the proposed amendment would go straight to the ballot. The governor can't stop it.
They may not have an appetite for this, but in the end, the people hopefully move their elected officials, and maybe we can make it happen.
If recreational pot lands on the ballot, we'll see a replay of 2012.
But nobody has a right to redefine marriage.
The epic battle over the marriage amendment.
We had a gay couple live in our neighborhood. They had adopted a little son. And
two sides waged war on TV, yards, and even on pumpkins before voters made the call.
Minnesota proved that love is bigger than government.
I think it's a conversation that's been coming for some time, and I think that the only way we begin a conversation is actually to introduce legislation.
Governor Tim Walz says he supports legalizing recreational marijuana in Minnesota. West Fargo families will soon have better access to health care. Today, Sanford showed off the progress that construction crews are making on its new facility. The $10 million clinic, which will expand its access to family and women's health, is on the corner of Cheyenne Street and 13th Avenue West. It will also add children's services. Staff say the upgrade allows the clinic to grow along with the city.
We know that with the city expanding and all the growth in this area that we need to expand our services, so we're really working to improve access and also expand some of the services that we're offering out here in West Fargo.
Construction is expected to end this fall. A second Sanford clinic on the corner of 40th Avenue South and Veterans Boulevard in West Fargo is also under construction and will open this spring. A snack